Hey everybody, and welcome back to Video Game Esoterica. On today's episode, we're taking a look at Dead of the Brain 1 and 2 for the PC Engine Super CD. Weirdly enough, this game came out on June 3rd, 1999 in Japan, marking the last official release for the PC Engine. The Dreamcast was on store shelves at the same time this game came out, which just goes to show how late into the life cycle of the PC Engine developers were actually releasing games for that platform. Developed by a company called Fairytale, they're mostly known in Japan as making erotic point-and-click adventure games, visual novels. Story has it that the Japanese government was going to be cracking down on those type of games and adding in some censorship, so Fairytale pivoted it to making horror and sci-fi themed games so they could continue to make money as a company. That crackdown never actually occurred in Japan, so after these three games that they call the Nightmare Trilogy, they pivoted back to that erotic genre. So in the trilogy, you have Dead of the Brain 1 and 2, which we're going to be looking at here today. There's a third game, Marine Filth. That is the pronunciation. I'm not mispronouncing it. And that's kind of an alien sci-fi themed point-and-click graphic novel. Basic premise of Dead of the Brain 1 is that you are a police officer and your friend, Dr. Cougar, created a reanimation serum that could bring the dead back to life. He starts on a cat, and there's definitely like a pet cemetery theme going on. You'll see a little wink and a nod Easter egg coming up, but generally that is what Dead of the Brain is. Obviously, it is in Japanese, so the storyline is quite vague. There's still a lot of enjoyment to get from the game because the only way you really progress is to click on everything in a scene, even if it is multiple times. It's kind of how you progress through the game. So using your imagination, you can kind of tell yourself the story. There is full voice acting in the PC Engine version. This game came out on the FM Towns, the PC NEC series of computers, as well as the MSX2. All of those versions have better graphics than Dead of the Brain 1 and 2 compilation on the PC Engine, but this is the only version that has Red Book audio as well as a mostly voice dialogue soundtrack that you can actually listen along to as you play. So it's kind of like a pro and con. This version offers you better audio as well as dialogue, but it has diminished graphics. They still look pretty good. The heads-up display in this game, where you see look, talk, get, move, use, go, load, and save, is quite basic. They definitely improve on that in Dead of the Brain 2, which I think is very funny because both games are on the same CD for the PC Engine, so they probably could have, as they were porting the graphics over to the PC Engine, kind of improved that menu, but they definitely didn't. But just go ahead and enjoy it a little bit. I'll let you watch a little bit of the gameplay. I'll come back in just a few moments to talk about some the background of the game and a little bit more of what's going on to look at. And then we'll come back again and look at Dead of the Brain 2, which is on the same disc. But enjoy. I'll be back in a bit. So what you just saw there was Dr. Cougar reanimating the cat, and then the cat was very naughty and killed a police officer who we are now reanimating. You get this little timer just to show how long that reanimation serum takes to work. Just a little bit of like flavor text there, just to give you a sense of what's going on. So I've never actually beaten these games. I actually acquired this disc specifically for this series. It's been a game that I've always wanted to add to my collection, but I never really had a good chance to. I do quite enjoy these visual novel games, the Danganronpa series, the Zero Time Dilemma series. Those are all really great games that I enjoy when I kind of want to play something that's more mentally involved and less actual attention involved, I guess, with, button presses and everything like that. But now the zombie is up. Animation-wise, there's not too many frames, so there's like maybe 3 frames of animation there. But you're going to see your character and Dr. Cougar are going to escape through a cemetery, and we have a really good Easter egg coming up in regards to that. So I'll let you know when it shows up. But I wish this game would get a translation. The unfortunate part is a lot of Japanese visual novels have been translated. Obviously, the most well-known is going to be Police Knots. That received a full translation. And there's that little Easter egg for Pet Cemetery. The doctor loses all of his serum, and it hits a gravestone for Stephen King, obviously the writer of Pet Cemetery, and now the dead are going to be coming back to life. I'll let you guys watch this intro. The music's great, and we'll be back with Dead of the Brain 2. Alright, so moving on from Dead of the Brain 1 right into Dead of the Brain 2. The subtitle for this game is Screams of the Dead. It's a direct continuation sequel of Dead of the Brain 1. The main character from the first game, Cole, and his girlfriend are planning a vacation to Canada after the events that occurred in the first game. And as they leave their apartment, they find the mutilated corpses of their friends and neighbors. It's very reminiscent of the attacks in the first game, and that's kind of where the story kicks off. These are on a compilation disc, but the original games when they came out, this game came out about 8 months after Dead of the Brain 1, so I'm not sure if they were developed in tandem. They definitely have a similar visual style, but the overall gameplay mechanic and all the options you can choose have been streamlined for Dead of the Brain 2 to make it a more easy to deal with experience. But considering that these games, development-wise, story is probably the most time-consuming portion to develop for, and then the art and kind of mechanics behind that are probably easier, so it's possible that they did just develop the game, in 6 months for release. Playing this is much easier than playing Dead of the Brain 1, especially with the language barrier. You have a move option, and then you just have a pointer to select hotspots on the screen. So navigating this game without a firm understanding of Japanese becomes easier. I have tried to translate a bit of this just using, mechanical translations, Google Translate Camera. You get a little bit of what's going on, but really not enough to be able to fully understand the story. Although just watching it, it's intriguing and interesting enough that you can probably make it up on your own. Fairytale, the company that developed these games, is also known for doing an entire series on Dracula. It's kind of an erotic take of that entire story and lore, although really it's not much of a take considering a lot of that Dracula theme was erotic in nature as is. But here is Cole's girlfriend, Sheila. You're just going to be able to click around the screen and kind of interact with it. Basically, they're talking about their vacation, and the main storyline is going to kick off after we get outside that door. So I'll let you watch this a little bit, and we'll be back when the rest of the gameplay starts. And Cole and Sheila's day has definitely taken a turn for the worse as there's multiple mutilated corpses right outside their apartment. I definitely like the overall art style of Dead of the Brain 1 and 2. It's moody, it's dark, it's atmospheric, and they're able to do a lot with one single background image. As far as the soundtrack's concerned, that's also excellent as well. It fits that horror theme, has a lot of audio cues to kind of let you know what's going on in the scene. Even if you can't understand the language, you can definitely understand a little bit what's going on just by hearing the music in the background. It's hard to recommend this game, even though I love it, and I've been playing through it and kind of coming up with some story in my head. It is quite expensive. At the minimum, you're looking at, if you get lucky, around $300. For a sealed copy, you're looking anywhere between $650 to $1,000. So it is a huge investment for collectors only, I would say. You certainly can burn it still. I received my copy for nothing. Someone who wanted to go unnamed was happy enough to donate it to me to cover on this series, and I definitely 100% appreciate and I'm very grateful for that, even if I can't tell you who it is. But thank you to that person. But that's it. That's Dead of the Brain 1 and 2, part of the Nightmare collection from Fairytale. I'm still trying to find a copy of Marine Filth to add to the collection and kind of maybe showcase later on in the channel. It is probably the hardest of the 3 games in the series to find. It only came out for the FM towns. Also a very rare system that's hard to find, so you have a rare game on a rare system makes it kind of like a unicorn. But I will find it one day and I will be able to show it to you guys as it's the same kind of overall gameplay, yet completely different tonally. But I hope you guys really enjoy this. Stop back next week. We're going to have some more great content for you. We're getting close to the end of the season here, but we do have Season 3 planned as well. We'll tell you more about that as we get closer. But thanks so much for watching. If you can go down below, hit the thumbs up and subscribe button. It definitely helps us out. You can check us out at Instagram at Chicago Game Collector. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching. Have a great week, and we'll see you guys next week.